Peace, family. So I'm back with another one. You know what I'm saying? So what I want to start doing is I want to start dropping my content a little bit more this way in a live stream way, so that way we don't have to wait for me to post content, and it's easier for us to engage, interact. But I just had to get moved in transition, so it was a lot of things going on, and I don't really like waiting for everybody to come in unless I got it scheduled, so I usually just try to get straight to it right away. You know what I mean? And what I wanted to dive into today was just how a lot of the beings around us, peace, family, it's been a while. We have been battling. When I say we've been battling, we've been battling. It never looks like it from my facial expressions. Like, I look in the mirror, I do these things all the time, and it's like, even when I'm angry and I'll try to go in the mirror and look at myself, it just doesn't reflect how I feel on the inside. So it's almost like one of them things where you have no choice but to be able to feel me. Hey, peace, Canada in the building. Yes. So, a lot of beings are permanently stuck. What kind of brought me to this subject today was I've been engaging with people of my past who I deal with on a long-term level, and then some short-term people who I haven't really been engaging with much. And I also have my mom, which plays a big factor as well too, so I kind of reflect on her too, you know what I mean? But I realized dealing with two different generations, whether it's engaging with my mom, which is generations above me, or the generations where it's my peers on lower, a handful of these beings, not say a handful because I'm just trying to be generous, are really stuck in the sunken space. And what kind of drew me to this space was just understanding, like, I've been in spaces with each of these different individuals on numerous occasions, whether it was when I was in a space where I didn't really have the knowledge and information, but I still enjoy, you know, being around them or engaging with them, blah, 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 whatever it is, you know what I mean? And then even with my moms, it's like we didn't have the best relationship, you know what I mean? But I never gave up on her is the thing, you know what I mean? So, and I'm not a quitter, you know, I'm a fighter, I'm a warrior is what I do. And especially if it's the ones that I care about where it gets hard at. So, had a situation recently where I just was able to reprocess and re-put some things together and reorganize, and then just to recalibrate what is actually going on with this spiritual war. And I have beings that I've dealt with almost 9, 10 years ago, and it hurts my heart and my spirit to see them in the same spiritual space that they was in years ago, years ago. You know what I mean? It's like if we talked about pillows years ago, when we talk about pillows this year, because it's been so many years that's passed, we should be able to discuss pillows on a basis of where if we're talking about them now, you make pillows or I make pillowcases. You know what I'm saying? It would be more than just, hey, you got the pillow I can lay my head on. You know, it's that simplified. I have male counterparts who I engage with from years ago and engage with them now. We wasn't taught how to be men, you know. A lot of these things wasn't shown to us. We kind of just knew, all right, well, men aren't supposed to cry. We do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I have females I engage with who are just not nurturing or empathetic whatsoever. And when I look at the real life situations and then I put the real life situations with some of this information they got out here, because it's a lot of quote unquote dating coaches. And I understand where the dating coaches come from because our relationships are huge. I don't give a fuck about the dating world. Y'all shouldn't either. Don't date. We should be moving things on traditionally, trying to get back to the old method of things, the way it worked. You know what I mean? Like, in my world, when I met my BM, and I'm just using her as an example, fill in your own blanks or examples. My BM was like 8 years younger than me or something like that. I don't know, 8 or 9. She's younger than me. But the principle is that In my spiritual world as a man, I see her as less diluted and tampered with. You know, the things that have value, I was putting value on them even if she hadn't put value on them herself. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that too, James. I appreciate you. Um, and just understanding these little different methods and routes with her, it was kind of like I put more value on this being, this character, and the things that she could bring to the table. Because when I engage with people, I always look at the light in your strengths first. I see your weaknesses, but I acknowledge and I respect your strengths. So that's what usually gets any people who are witchy or like to mask or do any of this other weird stuff. This is how they get opportunities and chances with me. I can still see you outside of the entity controlling, and I can still see how that other entity uses your own strengths. So then that's what allows me to put a little bit more faith and belief into you is, gosh, child, this is what I do. I trust my team in the process. If you knife me in the back, just know my team is going to get you. So I'm not really too concerned about the knife. But understanding these things with just like, I put so much value in a being and things that they come with that they wasn't even putting on themselves. And yes, there was a big age gap difference, but at the same time for me, it's like in my spirit, I'm just using this all as an example. We are past this in our transition. I'm just trying to correlate it all together so it makes more sense. Because this was really mind-blowing to me to be engaged with somebody, putting some value on them more than they putting on themselves, and then you guys aren't engaging or interacting in that manner, sexually, physically, any of those things, and then all of a sudden you start re-engaging with this person 7, 10 years later down the road, they are still communicating with you with the exact same intentions and verbiage. How do you do that without being in the sunken space? How do 20-year-old me communicate at 37 years old using the exact same language and verbiage and looking like they are really looking for the exact same responses and engagements. They are looking for the exact same reactions and responses from you. And this is just from using, you know, a being that's close to me as an example. This ain't to say, I hate her, I'm gonna beat her down. It's the mother of my child. She gonna be a witch from the time I met her to the time she go. You know what I'm saying? That's just a wish that I signed up for. So at the end of the day, it's not like, I hate her, I hate her. No, it's just I just like to deal with the facts that are on the table. So it's kind of like if my sperm donor came to me right now communicating with me and I haven't talked to him in over 10 years, it's like, you cannot communicate with me the same way or I'm going to have that same perspective of you still being in that sunken space. With us being in the day and age we in, there's too much information out here for people to just be cool walking around blind, lost, and following these demonic playbooks that clearly we can see are crashing people out fast. When I was young, we didn't hear about people killing themselves and suicides and all of this stuff. It happened, but it was rare. It was just as rare as seeing gay people. Gay people and suicides was rare as fuck when I was younger. It was rare. When I was young, you didn't even know how to take yourself out. Now we at a day and age where you can basically open up your phone app, a door, and it's a million ways of swiping left on your own self. Like, do you realize what kind of mental, spiritual space you have to be in to actually cause harm to yourself? That's not what none of us naturally do. Animals don't do it, and we are more intelligent, which is why it's easier to manipulate our concepts to get us in that space and to end up hurting ourselves. So my BM is one example. But then I have my mom, who's an older generation. I don't give either one of them no excuses because we're in a day and age where it's just no more excuses. And my her mom passed away. My grandmother. So it's not like I didn't have any impact, like my grandmother didn't mean anything to me. My grandmother meant the world to me. You know what I mean? And she was one of the only beings that I cried for when I was 10, 11 years old, and my mom was pulling us out of New York to come move down here to where we are now, you know? And for me, it's like, I'm in a space to where I understand life, where I understand us as spiritual beings, where I understand a lot of things. So there's no way that you could be my parent, my mom, and not comprehend me. Unless you just don't give a fuck. You made me, you raised me. So you don't take away from how people grieve and go through things, you know, grand risings. And you don't take away from how people grieve and the things they do in that process. But when you are intelligent to infinity and beyond, meaning that you get your information from the Creator and the Most High, you would understand that that generation is gone. My grandmother got to live a great one. She made it to 90. Now we got a bunch of little people that's younger than us. You know, my mom got a bunch of grandbabies. And it's like, she would rather be in a sunken space that she's been in her whole life, that she wasn't there for her own children, to re-put yourself back in a sunken space, so that way you are not being present or even available for your grandbabies. So you are putting more energy on the old generation, the past generation, the one that's already cycled out. We all got to get the fuck out of here. I don't care how you take it or what you feel about it. We all got to go. My grandmother lived a great one. I got to talk to her about a lot of stuff. You know, I always smile. I got my little things that I got to do, go back and forth. Matter of fact, this is beautiful. I got to share this. Gotta share this. This my Nana's obituary. This my Nana obituary. You know, this is, like, this was done completely different than how, you know, you get the white obituaries that just, they give you that dull, pasty feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like, this my Nana right here. You know what I'm saying? She give me strength every single day, and she was even before. You know what I mean? So even that alone is already more light and more energy. So why would me, if I was my mom, and that was my mom that passed away, why would I not be doing more for my children and for their children, which is my grandchildren? The next generation, she's got to go too. So this is what I be meaning by a lot of these beings are stuck in this weird sunken space. And I only call it weird because I just know that these spirits have been broken down so much that they don't even know how to find the light to God or the Creator. And the ones that do, they got so much weird stuff that they created in the inside. It's like a wall. So they can see over the side, and they be seeing us over there enjoying life and living, going through our trials and obstacles, getting beat by their peers over there, trying to beat us over here. But we still living fruitful, but they cannot get over there to us. You know? And it's because they just don't want to apply themselves. Like, to them, it's like having to be in a shameful state or an embarrassing state is too much for them. And it's like, for me, I don't give a fuck about being shamed or embarrassed. The good thing about being shamed and embarrassed is that don't go on with me with my next journey. And I've never been shamed and embarrassed to where it lasted my entire life. You know, I've been through a lot of situations where people did have reasons to shame and blame and do all these other things and hold me accountable for other things. You know what? I stood solid in it. Because the Creator told me that it's only temporary. Whether you got to stand in that shame and blame for a couple hours, for a couple minutes. Some got to do a couple days or a couple weeks. Some motherfuckers got to sit in that shit for a year or two or some change. You don't know because it's spiritual time. You know what I mean? So when you operating on God's time, you cannot put this number on it. That doesn't make sense. This is us trying to be God, not God trying to be us. When we get this precise, this is us trying to be God. You know what I mean? So it's just understanding these things. Like, a lot of beings are not going to take this phone, this technology, and utilize it to its full degree. They would rather keep coming up with excuses, pointing the finger, blaming people, you know. And then we got all this new narcissist information out. So now clearly everybody is a narcissist. Oh, somebody, you got demons out here saying witchy shit, doing witchy shit, and then let you correct them. They're like, oh, you gaslighting me. And it's like, whoa, you are the demon. And here you go saying that I'm gaslighting you. That's not how this works. I know you're learning new verbiage, but I'm learning too. That be the thing. So you gotta understand, it's kind of like, be mindful of these new gurus they putting out here, because I just had to put not interested on this new leisure time. I think it's like 19 keys or something. They've been trying to push him in my algorithms for over a year now, maybe about a year. I don't like his energy. It's people coming in to kind of guide and direct us, right? But while they're coming and guiding and direct us, it's weird that you bring people in front of us who got a big bag, who got money, who clearly is financially stable and situated. But then all they're doing is getting more rich people to sit around in a circle and talk about shit that people with less money is already doing. In my world, if they was real, genuine, organic beings, they would be on their land with applications, taking residence, you know, getting people out of the matrix, not sitting here doing, oh, I just watched this podcast that only got 15 subscribers and they're talking about this. So then you take what they're talking about and you just put it over with somebody who got millions, and it's not creating much more of a shift. They got a bigger outlet, more resources, so they should be doing more. Why do you have 1 million subscribers opposed from these 10 subscribers, and then y'all got the same setup outside of real? One got a higher quality camera. One got a staff that's working behind the camera, but he's doing the same thing that this one being is doing all by themselves, production-wise. We all need each other. We all using each other. Nobody's doing it by themselves, technically, you know. Even if you did all the work yourself, or if I said all this myself, no, because I'm not watching myself. I'm talking to you guys. You guys are engaging back. So we are never doing it by ourselves. So don't ever take in that concept that these demons push out, because then that's basically making you say, fuck everybody else that has been there helping you. That's basically saying, fuck your customers, fuck your peers, everybody that's around you. Even if they didn't stand solid with you through your whole process, they still helped you somewhere. You know what I mean? So it's like, even how I just gave my BM and my mom as examples, they both have still been prevalent, helpful in my life, whether it was on the up and up, or whether it was some unhealthy shit that I had to counter to look deeper within myself to work on. You know what I mean? But they will be in this sunken space until they realize, hey, this is not where we're supposed to be at. And a lot of them are gonna have to hit some really bad walls for them to understand, like, all right, I'm not taking the right methods. I know that what I'm doing is wrong. I'm clearly talking to this being. They're giving me real information and responses that they wasn't giving me 10 years ago, and I'm still not acknowledging that growth. And I don't care for acknowledging that. I'm not going anywhere. It's a really bad space, but once you start understanding it, you won't beat yourself up or down so much about the process, because you'll understand that we are a reflection to a small degree. I know a lot of people like to say, oh, peace reflection. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. I don't run around stabbing people in the back, so no, you are not my reflection. I don't know where this shit... Talk to me, Nana. Talk to me, Nana. Talk to me, Nana. She said we don't do that either. We don't do that either. So Be mindful of the people that you are also saying is your reflection. If you ain't walking around stabbing people in the back and shooting people and knocking their heads off, then you cannot say that's your reflection. You know what I mean? Especially if you gave somebody some change and they didn't want to pay you back. It's just a lot of situations you can think of where people are operating and they are showing that they are not your reflection. You know what I mean? And a lot of these beings is gonna have it hard. We all gotta get out of here. We all gotta go somewhere when we leave here. You know what I mean? So for me to just live life as if I'm this vessel, this meat right here. No, it's our job to take care of it so we can keep doing what we do. But this is not all I am. I use this vessel to operate in this society. You know what I mean? It start getting to a point in space to where you realize, oh shit, you gotta control your eyes. What are you looking at? If you're on the subway and let's say you see some cheeks over on the right side, you may not want to look because you could have been angry or frustrated and now it's trying to pull you over into some sexual space. Now you gotta focus on how to keep your eyes straight. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you a talker. You go to a convenience store, you're sharing too much information. Now you gotta teach yourself how to shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're around a lot of dramatic drama people who are always gossiping, blah, 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 blah. Now you gotta figure out how to shut your ears off, how to tell them to shut the fuck up, or how to get out of the room. I used to tell people all the time when I was younger, before I was even hip to all of this stuff, I'd be like, yo, I don't want to know if it could be incriminating. I do not want to know. And even if it's not incriminating, if it's just involving some weird drama that don't even got anything to do with me, I don't care for knowing. I don't. It's not going to hurt me and it's not going to help me. So at the end of the day, it's really just how solid I want to stand on the information that I choose to take in. A lot of these other beings, they aren't taking in this information. They still got their phones. They still scrolling down Snapchat, which Snapchat isn't no helpful information. You know what I'm saying? They still following all the wrong people on the Instagrams. You know, they into the emotional status posts that are always up on Facebook. If you on Twitter, you in the porn industry. I don't even know what's going on in Twitter no more. I don't even be in Twitter. Twitter has turned into a whole nother world. This is my main space that I use right here. And even when I got to get on and post in any of my other spaces, I tell myself, get off. I have to tell myself to get off because sometimes you will get caught scrolling. Even with me following productive people, spiritual people, people who got, you know, healthy healing foods or just advice, just different things of these natures. It's still advertisements and different things from some of these beings who post things that are still comedic or not educational, you know. So you don't have to be learning every second of the day, but for me, when I'm learning, I'm earning. So that's fun for me. You know, I love taking in new information. A lot of these other beings, they not going to. That's why they still in the same space. They stuck on the chosen ones like glue. That's right. That's right, Nico. That's right. They stuck like glue. I mean, if they wasn't stuck on us like glue, where would they get their imagery from? Where would they get their new creations to add on to their mask? You know, how would they get these new tactics on how to manipulate the next group of people that they run into in their next journeys in their life? They wouldn't know. That's why they have to learn these things. You don't understand how many people, and I know if I done came across, how many people y'all done came across that we done gave structure to. Even if we don't have all the best structure in the world as far as societal means and wise, you know what I mean? It doesn't stop how organized and structured you are spiritually. You got to remember that you are countering your spiritual belief system with this slavery shit out here. So you are going to feel a little unbalanced sometimes. It is going to feel a little off balance, you know what I mean? Because how you're feeling and what you're processing and what you actually want to do, especially if you're moving in God's light, the creator, it's going to have you feeling good. It's going to create a little bit of anger and frustration and friction in between there because at the end of the day, you still in this physical world that you have to operate in, which is still slavery to a certain degree. A lot of people just keep forgetting that this is still slavery to a degree. So it's like, I could never forget that piece. as long as you keep that peace in there, even when everything has been flowing smooth sailing for like a couple days, a week, a month or so, maybe you got a smooth year in. If you got a smooth year or two and you have really been putting in some work and you have deserved your reaping season, you know what I'm saying? Like, you deserve it. So it's just understanding a lot of this stuff, man. Like, you would be living naturally if you wasn't constantly getting pulled to say, oh, I gotta pay a bill. I gotta get to this plantation. Like, I gotta get my little ones some more clothes, quote unquote. Like, all these other little things that you gotta do that's really irrelevant to the natural flow of things, but it's things that we gotta stay on top of and do in order to maintain a certain lifestyle out here. You know what I mean? So just don't beat yourself up too much in that process. You know what I mean? As far as for the other ones and the subject at hand, they are trapped and stuck in a sunken place. Like, when I engage with people and I haven't talked to you in 9, 10 years, or we haven't done anything in like 5 or 6 years, and you still engaging, communicating with me the same way, I don't really have a choice but to see myself up here. And I don't mean like I'm better than you up here. It's just like, knowledge-wise, I have more understanding. So now when I communicate with you, I gotta operate like you on a little kid frequency. I don't like looking at grown-ups like little kids, but it's either look at them like a little kid or I gotta take you as a full demon and I gotta keep all my weapons ready. When I look at you like a little kid, it's easier because then it's like you are less susceptible to doing something brutally in my face. Because now you taking in my perception and knowledge that I'm giving you as if, oh, he's smarter than me. Kinda. I don't know what else to say about that. That's like a 5th grade teacher and a kindergarten teacher. Like, they learn 2 different things. It's not really that the 5th grade teacher is smarter than the kindergarten teacher. They just learn different principles and morals, and one just had to stay at this frequency, and I chose to go up and chill on this frequency. That's all it is. But people always make it seem like, oh, we don't compare, don't do this, don't do that. But to be honest, I wouldn't be wearing these crystals if I didn't fuck with humans. I'm just saying. I wouldn't have this hat if I ain't fuck with humans. Comparing. It's okay to compare and do shit when you like it, but don't compare me if you don't like it. Get the fuck out of here. I get compared every day. Every day. You know what I'm saying? So we just gotta understand these things. Like, it's okay. Like, I take it lightly because I already got enough other battles and attacks coming my way. Like, the minute I get off here, I'm pretty sure it's still early in the day. It's more than enough time for somebody to come get at me. And I don't even know who tapped into the stream to do anything extra. You know what I'm saying? This is just how the process goes, but it doesn't stop us from not living in fear. It doesn't stop us. Get off the internet. Hey, if you ain't doing nothing productive, you should. But that's saying getting off the internet is like telling somebody to put down a gun. No. No. The gun isn't dangerous. It's you. The internet isn't dangerous. It's you. Hey, shit crazy. I ain't never seen a gun just laying on the bed, just start firing off at everybody in the room. Hey, that's some funny shit. So that's the same thing with the internet. People was like, oh yeah, don't be on the internet. The social medias is bad, blah, 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 blah. Now y'all looking at the wrong stuff. You, the beings who are in charge of doing the maneuvering, y'all the demons, y'all the disgusting ones, not the internet. The internet is a tool, but they know that people are witchy and they will use it for witchy shit. Simple process. It's like if I set a stick right here in front of us and was like, hey, you could build a fire or make a weapon. Some of us is gonna build a fire. Some of us is gonna use this weapon to slap the shit out the person beside us. Simple process. So we are more intelligent. Y'all know I could use my nana paper, right? For paper cuts, I could slice somebody, whip. It's 1,000 things I could do. Should I say, oh, this paper is bad, my nana is bad, this is all. No, that's what I be saying. We way too intelligent for this. We are way too intelligent for this, you know what I mean? But they have been letting me rock. We made it 30 minutes with no interruptions. Hey, I ain't gonna run it up. I'm not gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. We gonna cut it. Hey, I appreciate y'all. We definitely about to doing this more again. We definitely about to be locked in. You know, we getting everything a lot more situated and organized. And usually when I got like numerous amount of battles going on back to forth, back to back to back, it's like the opposition is tag teaming each other. You know what I mean? That's when I kind of, you see me kind of, it's harder for me to conjure up that energy because I've been on the defense. You know what I mean? So that's the only thing about this spiritual battle, and when you are living and moving, you know, and God's like the best that you can. Because none of us is perfect. I don't even like the word perfect. You know what I mean? Somebody ever said they was perfect, I'm gonna assume you a demon. I don't ever want to hear nobody say they perfect. We all need work, all of us. I don't give a damn what stage you in your transition. I've been transitioning a lot lately, and I still need more work. But look, I ain't want to run up too long. I appreciate everybody that's always showing love, everybody that stayed consistent with us. Y'all know they trying to hide us, right? They minimizing numbers. They doing everything they can. They not even letting people notifications come through. You know what I mean? So it's just a lot of, it's just part of the process when you are wiggling away from all the ratchet stuff. You know what I mean? But y'all make sure y'all tapping everything down below in the descriptions. We got everything in the descriptions. But definitely hit that like button. I usually don't even say this. But the way the algorithms have been updating, even the people who subscribe to me are not getting the content. You know what I mean? They are not receiving the information. So it seems like this is going to have to be the best, fastest method in order to kind of get to you guys and for you guys to get to me. You know what I'm saying? But tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.